that's how my destiny's drawn. Just when the story is shifting, turns out it's too good to last. Maybe I just can't escape from the past. As I go chasing the dawn, why don't you just release me and go your separate way? My heart has nothing left to give away. Another drink for my troubles, another cold cigarette. I'm not the type, but I'll take.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Kinetic Action with Halsey English. We're going to be talking about world events. We're going to be talking about all the different war zones that are going on throughout the Middle East, Europe, and the Far East. We're going to be talking about the political situations that lead there, and as we go on, the show will keep getting better and better. We're also going to try to talk about the propaganda that's coming out from different sources on a daily basis. And we're talking about a half an hour to 45 minutes that we'll be doing. If you want to ask any questions, the super chat feature is available at halseyenglish.live. You can join my Patreon. You can join my Substack. All are different ways in which you can support my work. And because this is the first episode, we're just going to jump right into it. So the war between Lebanon and Israel, which affects the war with Iran, is definitely heating up. Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Katz announced they've given the green light to the IDF to begin hitting targets in Beirut, Lebanon's capital, and a Hezbollah stronghold. Residents can be seen fleeing from the Dahiyah section of the city, which is the Hezbollah section of the city. Israel says the plans are fully backed by the U.S. administration. Iran says it will view the attacks on Beirut as a violation of the ceasefire with the U.S. Israel says there will not be a quick operation and can spell the beginning of the end for Hezbollah. Iran's state media has already reacted. Tasnim says the Iranian negotiating team is suspending dialogue and exchange of texts through a mediator with the U.S. in protest against Israeli crimes in Lebanon. Iran says there will not be talks until Israel ceases its aggressive operations in Lebanon and Gaza and withdraws completely from the occupied areas in Lebanon. Also, the resistance front, including the Houthis, have set their agenda to activate other fronts, including the Bab al-Mandab Strait, to punish Israel and its supporters. This is a positive thing for both Israel and the United States, as the negotiations between Israel and Lebanon and the negotiations between Iran and President Trump have hit a standstill. We're now looking at Israel expanding its operations and capturing land further north than the Litani River, which is what their original war aims were. Thousands of rockets have poured down on Israel from Lebanon, hundreds of them in the last 2 days, and this is going to probably force Iran to get involved, which they will probably start shooting missiles at Israel at any time in order to defend Lebanon, where their proxy group Hezbollah has been in charge for many, many years. This is going to get very, very interesting very, very fast. Secondly, Vladimir Zelensky gave a interview to an American news source, and one of the points that he made, and I wanted to get into this a little bit, there's not enough anti-ballistic missile production in the United States, and this could lead to a crisis in different parts of the world. Russia is ramping up its internal production of ballistic missiles. I sent a letter to the White House and to the U.S. Congress. I hope they will understand and respond. 60 to 65 anti-ballistic missiles per month compared to current challenges is nothing. It's no secret, and Russia knows this. We need to expand the production. I asked the previous U.S. administration, and I'm asking today's administration, to give Ukraine licenses to produce Patriot missiles. We can increase the production of Patriot missiles. This will help us. This will help the Middle East and any other country that the United States decides to help. Until we produce a European anti-ballistic missile system, we will need support from the United States. Now, this is a very interesting post that was made by Zelensky himself to the X platform, and what he spoke about in the interview, among other things. This is probably never going to happen. The Patriot missile is one of the backbones of U.S. missile defense, and in putting production in Ukraine, giving them license to produce Patriot missiles, would increase the risks of the technology and manufacturing processes leaking to either Russia or China or Turkey, and I don't believe that Zelensky has a prayer of making this happen. He's saying that because they've been on the offensive for the last year, that Russia is probably primed for dialogue, and that there needs to be European mediators that have been appointed to this. I don't think, again, any of this is going to happen. I think that Zelensky is praying and hoping that that Europe will be able to put pressure on the United States to make this happen, but I don't see it happening. So Zelensky is going to have to figure out how to fight Russia on his own terms. And since we haven't gotten true casualty numbers from either side, we don't know which side is stronger or which side is going to be prevailing in this conflict, or whether a diplomatic solution is even slightly possible at this point. Last night at 11 p.m., U.S. forces successfully intercepted 2 Iranian ballistic missiles targeting American forces based in Kuwait. These missiles were immediately defeated and no American personnel were harmed. U.S. Central Command remains vigilant and will continue to protect our forces from Iranian aggression while supporting the ongoing ceasefire. This was a statement made by CENTCOM this morning. CENTCOM has quietly guided around 70 commercial vessels through the Straits of Hormuz in the last 3 weeks. Most ships turned off their transponders while passing through the narrow waterway. U.S. officials would not specify the types of vessels or the routes used. This is according to the New York Times. And additionally, the U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, conducted self-defense strikes on Iranian radar and command and control sites for drones in Goruk, Iran, and Keshem Island this weekend. The measured and deliberate strikes occurred on Saturday and Sunday in response to aggressive Iranian actions that included the shoot-down of a U.S. MQ-1 drone that was operating near international waters. U.S. fighter aircraft swiftly responded by eliminating the Iranian air defense, a ground control situation, and two one-way attack drones that pose clear threats to ships transiting regional waters. No American service members were harmed. CENTCOM will continue to protect U.S. assets and interests in response to unwarranted Iranian aggression during the ongoing ceasefire. So, as we know, the ceasefire is generally over at this point. Iran has ceased all negotiations, and America and Israel have been bombing and doing targeted assassinations in the last week against Iranian targets. I think we're signaling a big heat up amongst the Iran situation. And Lebanon, I think, is going to also see some serious kinetic action. Finally, and then we'll take off for the day, and I promise you tomorrow will be longer, and then the day after will be longer. The show will be every day at 10 a.m. I'm having a technology issue right now where I think my system is about to crash anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to accept that this was initial information to get the bugs out. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for a much longer show, and I apologize, but I apologize that this is the way that it's got to be. We will talk soon.